Welcome back to my channel. This time we're gonna bake something together again, like we did in my first recipe video. And today it's gonna be something special with these boys. This means that this is a very special recipe that we're making together today, because you can't get Heath bars in Germany and there's nothing that's coming close to it. So that's one of my 2 last packages of Heath bars, and with that we're gonna make some, I think, the best cookies. So Heath bar cookies. But the key thing about it is that they are brown butter cookies, and what I mean by that you're gonna see later, but let's dive right in and let's get to the ingredients. We're starting with the flour. Then we have some granulated sugar and also some brown sugar, which we're gonna mix together. You can also take some light brown sugar, but I just like the taste of this one better. That's like regular brown sugar. Then of course vanilla. 2 large eggs, but I couldn't get large ones, so mine are medium sized. And we actually just need 1 egg and 1 egg yolk. Then some baking soda, please no baking powder, baking soda. And then we need 2 kinds of salts, 1 kosher salt, and then for the end we need some flaky sea salt. And of course the star of our show, it's Heath bars, but actually you can use any kind of chocolate you like or chocolate chips, but I just like to do Heath bars because I think it suits it well. Butter. And with this last ingredient we're gonna start our recipe. Let's go. Why browning the butter, why we need brown butter for this, is because it's so much richer in its flavor and its complexity that it adds so much more richness to our recipe and everything you bake when you do a brown butter. What's important is that you stir every 10 to 15 seconds, because butter also can easily be burned. In the beginning it's gonna be a heavy foam and it's gonna settle down, and I think the whole process just takes up to 10 minutes, but it's very important. And as soon as you see some brown flakes coming up, then you know it's ready, and then it's also gonna turn the color, and then you're gonna also smell why we're using brown butter, because it's gonna get a nutty flavor, which is gonna be a nice add-on to every recipe you're doing with it. For that you're gonna turn up your stove to medium low heat. I have it between 3 and 4 on my stove. And what you need for this is especially a spatula. It already melted, so we're gonna stir it a little bit. Now it's starting to get to the heat we need, and that's the time you're gonna stir occasionally from time to time, so nothing is gonna get stuck on the bottom of the pan. First you're gonna see that there's a lot of white foam building up on top, so scrape it from all of the edges and scrape it from the bottom too, that nothing's burning. Foam is getting bubblier and bubblier, and that's like the crucial time. I think in about 2 to 4 minutes it's gonna be ready. So as soon as that turns foamy and bubbly, it's near the end. So when this is gonna set down, that's when the brown butter is ready. You can already see that everything turned brown. If you could smell it, you know that it's ready. And that's the time when we're gonna put it away from the heat and let it cool down before we're gonna pour it over our sugar. While we are waiting for the butter to cool down a little bit, we can start with chopping up our Heath bars. Of course, if you take chocolate chips, you don't skip this step, but I have the Heath bars, so I gotta chop them up. And as you saw, always put a wet towel or something underneath your cutting board, so it's not moving anymore when you're cutting, like I did in my last video. That's what I forgot. So let's just cut them up, uneven chunks, big ones, small ones, doesn't matter. Okay, that's it. Put it to the side. While you're making your brown butter, you don't have to watch it like the whole time. I already combined my sugar, my brown sugar and my granulated sugar in one bowl, so that's how I'm saving time, and all my dry ingredients. This means the flour, the kosher salt and our baking soda. These are set to the side until we're waiting for our butter to cool down a little bit, and then we're gonna pour it in our sugar mix. Just cool down. Just give it 5 to 10 minutes. Doesn't have to be like really cooled, but not that hot anymore. I can pour it in our sugar. You can see it's beautifully brown. Take another spatula and just give it a good mix. That all of the sugar is covered in the butter. It just becomes one. In that we're gonna put our vanilla. Yeah, there's gonna be measurements for the vanilla, but I never measure it. Just more is more with that. I say more, the more vanilla, the better. And in that mixture, we're gonna put our eggs. 1 whole egg and just 1 egg yolk. So I'm gonna start separating this quickly. And 1 egg yolk. Always scrape from your edges down, that everything combines. The step should look like this, almost like caramel. Yeah, then you know it's good. And in that we're gonna pour our flour mix, like our flour, kosher salt and baking soda, step by step. And please note at this step, don't overfold the dough. If you overfold it, it's not gonna be that good. Just almost everything. I'm gonna fold it in. You can see I'm taking the edges and putting them in the middle. That's how I'm getting all of it inside. Because at this point you can see if you need more flour or not. Sometimes you don't, so but I think yeah, that needs the rest. It can still look like this, you can still see the flour, and at this point we're gonna add our Heath bars, chocolate chips or favorite kind of chocolate bar. And also don't overfold it, we're just gonna fold it in, that everything is almost equally covered with the chocolate bars. The dough needs to chill and to cool down for the flour to be absorbed and for all the flavors to really settle in. That's why it's crucial. So if you're doing them immediately after putting the dough together, they're not gonna come out this good. They're not gonna be chewy on the inside and crunchy on the outside. So 1 more hour. There it is. Now, as you can hear, it's hard and heavy. We're not done waiting yet, I'm sorry. Now it has to get back to nearly room temperature, so we're gonna let it sit outside for, it's very warm today here, so I think 10-15. The maximum is 20 minutes, so let's see, after 10 minutes I'm gonna see. And then we're gonna form our cookie balls. Okay, it's time. This is the moment. You see, you can easily scoop in. Then you just take always 1 scoop. I put it in my hands. And you're gonna roll it a little bit. Set it on your tray. You can also make smaller ones, bigger ones, but that's how I'm gonna do it. I'll show you one more time. You have to leave them enough room, so 6. If you're gonna do this big of a size, this is the maximum of cookies I'm gonna do. And then we're gonna put them in our preheated oven. On this recipe, you get 12 big cookies. You can also make them smaller, then you get more. We're gonna put them in the oven now, and it's gonna be a time between 10 and 12 minutes. I think I always put them out at 11, it's like the golden middle. It's also important for this part, it's better to undercook them than to to underbake them than to overbake them, because as soon as we put them out, they're still gonna be on the baking tray. So it's still hot, so they still can bake for a little more time outside, but not in the oven. And that's crucial for them to be chewy and soft. Yeah, just put them in and I'll see you in 10 to 12 minutes. I also bake my 2 batches separately. Brown on the outside. outside, so this was only 10 minutes, so be quick. Now I got my empanada dough. Here's what you can do, so you can make them even. If you have one, if you don't have one, that doesn't matter. I didn't have one until today, so. And my cookies still turned out pretty good. If they don't fit, just makes them equal. And what's important too at this part, flaky sea salt. Just drizzle it on top while it's still hot, so it can stick to the cookie. We're waiting for them to cool down, and then we can try it. And that's it. Second batch is out. As you can see, these ones I undercooked a little bit more than the first ones because the first ones were too dark for me. So thank you for tuning in. This was my Heath bar cookie recipe, but the cookie dough recipe actually is not from me. It's from Proma Bakery. That's one of the best channels you can find for baked goods. Honestly, I put the link to her website and to her social medias in the description box, so you can look it up. But I think this is one of the best cookie recipes that's out there, so no need to try your own one. This one's already perfect. Then, thank you for tuning in. I'm gonna enjoy this now, and see you next time.